I honestly can't believe that musicians still think in this childish way. The music industry is a business. Get over it. Let's do this. Now, I may not be big or famous or anything, but I think of myself as pretty successful. And by this I mean I make my living from music. And to me, that's what the definition of successful is. I get up every single morning and I get to do what I want and love to do. And that for me is making it in the industry. I pay my bills, I buy what I want, I buy nice stuff for myself through the music industry. And that's my definition of successful. Anything on top of that is just a bonus. As I progressed, I've never been to university. I don't plan on going to university. And that way it made me have to think outside the box from a very early age. And from a very early age, I realized that everything that I wanted to accomplish would be easily done just by thinking in a different mindset, a very simple mindset. In fact, a mindset which people use in every other industry, except for these confused musicians that don't want to accept simple facts. I said to myself, if I want to make money from the music industry, if I want to make it as my career, if I want to pay my bills through this, if I want to buy a car through this, if I want to buy clothes through this, I have to do one simple thing. Think of the music industry as any other industry as a business. And once you do that, everything comes so clear and everything becomes very easy to understand, and all the troubles that you had had before will be eradicated just like that. Let's start thinking clearly. Getting gigs. You know, a lot of musicians think they're entitled to get a gig at this place or the other simply because their music is better than the rest of the crowd. And it's not really their fault either in some respects. A lot of these musical institutions want us to think, let's get better, keep getting better, keep getting better. And obviously, therefore, the students that they're teaching to will now think, in order to make more money, I have to get better at my craft. Now, this is not true. And if any smart-minded musician even looked on the internet, looked on YouTube, looked at the top 40, it would be a really easy question to solve. You're playing, how well your band is, how well your sound is, how well your album is, means nothing in the world of the music industry. No one cares. So if you want a gig, stop thinking that you're better than the guy next door. Stop thinking that you're better than the band that's at your school, because that does not matter at all. No one cares. What the venue actually does care about, and let's think of this now in a business mindset instead of a little schoolboy mindset, instead of a little kiddish mindset, and then we'll start to realise, what does a venue want? A venue wants money. A venue wants money because it's a business like any other shop you go into. How do they get money? Not because your music is better than everyone else's, and it probably even isn't if you're thinking that way, but they get money by people walking through the door. So, therefore, if you can instead, when you're writing this email or phoning this venue up, instead of saying, I should play here because my music is better than the guys I see you playing in your venue on a day-to-day basis, say to them instead, I can get 100 people through the door, 200 people through the door, 500 people through the door. As soon as you do that, you'll start speaking their language, and then they'll want to talk to you. They'll be like, yeah, this is a guy that I gel with, this is a band that I gel with. We can do some serious business here. And once you do that, you're in the venue, and then you can revert back to music. You can revert back to being the best musician that you think you are. You know what, when I started off the music industry, you know what, I had the same mindset as well. I had the same problem, getting gigs, getting places to play at hotels, restaurants, whatever. Then I realised what the true aim here actually was. After that, the gigs came down really, really easily. You just have to talk to the promoter's language, and everything after that will be very, very simple. And I think a lot of this has to do with what the schools teach. And what the schools teach in this industry specifically is absolute nonsense. because all they want you to think about is becoming the best at your craft. And that's the way they say they're going to make money. Now remember, your teachers, 90% of the time, they're probably failed musicians anyway because they're teaching you in the school, which probably doesn't pay that much. So realize that the guys that are talking to you probably don't even know how the music industry works themselves. I'm not being arrogant, but it's the truth. Listen, most teachers don't want to become teachers in a public school. No one wants to do that. A lot of teachers, just like myself, want to be teachers in private institutions where they can set their own rules. But no musician, trust me on this, wants to be told what to do by an institution, by the state or whatever. No one wants to do that. So the guys you're probably talking to on a daily basis, asking questions, they probably don't know what they're talking about themselves, and that's just God honest truth. So if you want to get something, you got to talk to people that have what you want. And the teachers at your school, the public schools at least, probably don't know what they're talking about. So get them. They're teaching you how to get better at your craft, and it's absolutely irrelevant. They never ever teach you how the music business actually works, how to get a gig, what do you need to get a gig. They will probably tell you, get better at your craft, which is irrelevant. But I have never been to any musical institution who have told me, in order to get a gig, I need to get people through the door. Never heard of that, because the musical institutions don't actually teach you how to make money in this industry, and that's why so many people fail. On to the second point. Recording an album or an EP. Now, recording an album or EP or single, whatever, that's absolutely fine. But these 18-year-old musicians, 21-year-old musicians that are coming out of high school or university with absolutely no fan base, no fans, no people that want to buy this product, and they're spending hundreds, if not thousands of pounds or dollars in order to make a record. How many people here watch Dragon's Den or Apprentice? Now let's revert to the simple business mind. You only sell a product if there is a market for it. Let's get that again. You only sell a product if there is a market for that product. You only sell a product if there is a market for that product. Musicians, are you getting this? So these guys doing Kickstarter campaigns, spending hundreds of pounds on an album, EP or single, and then they make it and they wonder why it's not selling well, because you have no fans. Is this not simple? You only make a product if someone wants to buy it. So before you even get into the studio, make sure you have an online presence. Make sure you enter all the local jam sessions. Make sure that you're playing at other musicians. Make sure that you're even getting gigs. The gigs should come before the album. This way, once you have gigs and people start to like your music, you'll start to build up a market for yourself. You'll start to grow up a number of willing fans that want to spend their hard-earned money in order to buy your product. If you do this the other way around, you'll soon realize that you're not selling anything. In fact, in about, I think it was 2013 when I started to get into this music industry. Not properly, but I started to get into it. Now, a lot of my friends, a lot of my family, a lot of musicians that I worked with, their first thing to think of was to make an album or an EP. And that, to me, right at the beginning, it made no sense. I thought to myself, if I made this album, spent loads of money on it, and loads of things on it, who would actually buy it? So I just went to square one and I said to myself, let's go out to as many open mics as I can, get as many gigs as I can, play in front of as many people as I can, and then I'll make an album. So a year later, I made my album, and guess what? A year after that, I've sold over 3,000 of them. That's not for no reason, because I started to grow a demand for for that album. And people bought the album because I grew demand. Now I just started a new project called Hezron Project Trio. It's something I've always wanted to do, something I've always wanted to make. And is the first thing on our minds to make an album? No way. Because we know as three musicians that we're not there yet. We're not there. We can't sell albums just yet because we've only just started. The work's just begun. We're not there. We're gonna wait a bit until we make that album. And once you do have that demand, that fan base to buy your album, how are you gonna sell it? I see a lot of small bands, a lot of small artists that make these albums. And then they put it in a box like this, or a box like this, and then they sell it for £10. £10. Now remember, people like Ed Sheeran, Taylor Swift, Rihanna, they sell music in a box like this for £10. So what makes you think that you as an up-and-coming artist are going to do the same thing and have any kind of success? Now you may do, you could get quite lucky, but the truth is you're just ruining your chances. So they make this really fancy box set, put loads of nice, lovely album work in it. They put a lovely booklet in it. By the way, this isn't an upcoming band, this is just a CD that my student gave to me, but it's an example of a well-crafted CD. They put a booklet in it and loads of booklets, make it look really fancy. They make it for £9 and then they sell it for 10, making just £1 profit. And you're doing two things wrong here. Firstly, you're making only £1 profit for yourself. And then secondly, you are selling your album at too high of a price for an artist that probably no one cares about. Now, there's another case study, and this is why I've sold over 3,000 of them. Oh, at first I did this fancy thing, but I quickly realized that we could do a better service on both sides by doing something else completely different. So what I did, I got a cardboard case like this. On the back of it, it's the same picture with a bit of color correction. Listed the songs, put the name on top. It comes with a business card inside. And the picture inside is the exact same picture, it is right here. Now guys, guess how much it cost me to create this CD? Guess. 25 pence. Yes, 25 pence. And it could even be cheaper if I bought thousands at a time. It could come to around 13 pence if I bought a bulk order of these. So I spend 25 pence on these and then I sell them for just £5. So everyone's happy. People come to my gig and they realise that my album costs £5. They sell out instantly. They get a good product. They get the music for a good, honest price. They buy into the brand, and as well as that, I make a good, healthy profit on my CD. So everyone, the fans and myself, are all winners. That's great. So when you're thinking about a thing like this, just think business-wise. And rappers putting whole albums, whole EPs, or whole mixtapes as they call them, and throwing them onto YouTube without video, but just pictures of them, dirty, like 120p pictures of them in a slideshow on YouTube. Please stop. Just stop doing that. No one cares because YouTube is meant for video. If you want to do that, please jump onto SoundCloud. That's where it's at. So when we talk about the album and stuff, it leads me onto a simple subject. Having an online presence. We now know that a grand majority of the people in this world, on this planet, use the internet. The internet is a very vital source for both venues, artists and fans alike to get to know each other. So we definitely need an online presence. Now the number of venues, number of gigs I've been to, I've seen a band that I really love. I type their name onto Google. I can't find them. That's frustrating as a fan. I want to lock into your brand, but I can't because you have nothing, no material online. And this all starts off with a website. Just create a basic website. Nowadays, there's places like Squarespace and Weebly, which give you free, easy to use website builders. And from there, you can automatically start having an online presence. And please, once you do make this website, put your show dates on there too. Because I want to find out when you're playing, where you're playing, what time you're playing, and what you'll be playing in a click of a button. And I can't find you, I can't find where you're playing, and that disinterests me as a fan automatically, and that's the end of the deal. I will never think about you again until I see you again, which is probably unlikely. So make sure your website is neatly presented, your events are very easy and clean to understand, and you can start garnering a presence. Make a Facebook page, start doing YouTube videos. We've seen countless acts gaining massive success on the basis of YouTube. Think of Ed Sheeran. Ed Sheeran started doing videos that, in terms of production quality and audio quality, they were kind of rubbish. But look where he is now, multi-platinum award-winning artist, starting from YouTube. So internet is definitely a place to start off with. There are a lot of opportunities on the internet, so get using it ASAP. Overall, having simple business-minded acumen. When you apply to your gig, to your venue to get a gig, please use proper, clear to understand English. That will go a very long way. Trust me, I've worked with a lot of promoters and they have told me that as soon as they see application that has poor English, out they go. They don't want to hear any more of them, because that's just a lack of maturity and professionalism, and venues don't want to get involved in that. You know, if you do lessons, if you do any business things like group lessons, workshops, please put very simple business-minded policies there. So for instance, I do hair lessons. If they cancel within 2 days, I still get all my money. If they cancel on me and everyone did that, I would lose a lot of money, and it's simple as that. Loads of places do this. Lawyers do this. Restaurants do this. They put a deposit down at first. Hotels do this. Everywhere does this. And for some reason, we just think because we're just musicians, we don't have to do this. Start putting clear-cut policies, and your clients will start to respect you for this. Speak well, use proper English. Rappers, don't go to the venue and say, "In it blood, can I get a venue here? I want to put on a grime session, Lord of Grime, in it fam do." Like, please, it's fine what the music that you do, but when you're talking to professional people that are solely in the interest of making money, please put on a nice suit, something nice to wear. It doesn't have to be a suit actually, it can be nice chinos and a shirt. Dress nicely for the occasion, and make sure people know you're there to create business. And therefore, people will start wanting to work with you. The sad truth of the matter is, most musicians fail because they don't understand the basic principles of business. Turnover, profitability, net profit, gross profit. They don't understand these simple ideas. The biggest artist of right now, the only artist to have an album, I think it was called 1948, to go platinum 2014, she has the biggest business mind sense ever. And for someone like me, it doesn't baffle me to understand why she's as big as she is. Ladies and gentlemen, Taylor Swift. The one who made Apple change their minds in making the free trial of Apple Music. She changed it so that artists would still make money off their streaming service. She has the power to change anything and everything. That's because she has a smart business mindset. Now, as many people that might hate Kanye West, he is a smart little bugger. He is. He has a great business mindset, and the reason people hate him, who cares? His business is on point, and that's why he's as successful as he is today. Most musicians fail because of this. They haven't got this simple business acumen. Musicians, you need to stop thinking that because your music is great, make money. You need to start thinking business. Start thinking in a more of a business mind way, and I guarantee to you, success will come.